Somewhere along the way, motherhood got reduced to just doing everybody's chores. I don't know how we bought into that because it's kind of crazy. Because in our household, if mama is cleaning or working or doing chores, so is the family. Because I used to feel that tension of like putting the kitchen asleep when everyone was sleeping and feeling so resentful. And the Lord showed me like, oh, I just need a better framework, a better rhythm, a better system. And so I'm gonna walk you through the exact framework we use in our home. And I'm gonna be referring to my ebook, which I just launched. And so the very first thing I'd recommend is that you reframe your mindset of chores, because chores are not punishment, they are discipleship. And what I mean by that is chores teach your children identity and belonging. And something we say in our family often is God has placed you in this family, therefore we contribute as a family. We all serve, we all work, we also do hard things together. And it teaches them that you matter, like what you do matters, and it has a direct impact on those around you. And moving on to my second anchor, I would say start early and keep it as simple as possible. So I have a saying, if you follow me on Instagram, I'll put my handle here. I say this often: as soon as you can walk, you can work. And if you can do it, then you should do it. And so what this means is, even before my child is walking, if the kid, like at 7 or 8 months old, can put blocks into his, bin, I will say, clean up, clean up. We'll sing a little fun song and he'll clean up. Yay! And make it a huge party out of it. So from the very beginning of our child's life, they know that chores are just so normal. And now, my 4-year-old makes his own bed, sweeps, vacuums his room, does things around the house, cleans up without even being asked. Like, it's just normal. And so it's not a struggle in our home anymore because it has become part of our household culture. And I want to walk you through that because it can be part of yours too. And modeling is so powerful. Like, okay, y'all, as a sister, okay, I'm going to just speak to you plainly. Even if you're a perfectionist and you're like a neat freak, clean freak, whatever, you like things perfect, don't rob your children of learning excellence. And so, yes, my child is not going to deep clean as good as me, but I will model it and I will show him how. I will walk him through and I'll have him redo it until it is at a good enough standard for his age. And I think that's really important for moms. It's not to underestimate how truly capable our children are. They will whine at 3 years old that they don't know how to use the broom. And you know what? After repetition, they will master the skill. Like, it really is possible to train your children in that structure and habit of excellence. And for little ones, they can do things like put toys in baskets. They can put pillows back on the couch. They can swap laundry over, put their plates in the sink. There's so many things that they can do, like feeding pets, that mom and dad just does just because it's easy for us to do, it's quick. But our children should be able to be a part of that. All right, moving on. Anchor 3, this is how we do it practically in our life. So I actually don't really do like deep cleaning Saturday days or, I did that growing up, but I don't do that in my household now because every day we just have little tidy ups throughout the house. So we do a tidy up after breakfast, and throughout our day we have basic like rhythms. Like, we don't leave our bedroom a mess and then go make a mess somewhere else. Like, we clean up one space before we move on. And we do something called blessing time. I know if you're on social media, you probably have seen it. We take 20 minutes, put on a timer, blast loud music like Forrest Frank or something fun. And then we all have an assigned task, like the living room or the kitchen. Each person has whatever they're capable of doing. And then we clean. And maybe mom is cooking while the house is cleaning. And then when the 20-minute timer ends, like, we literally will drop our brooms or whatever we're doing and we will dance and we'll party and we'll make it so fun and so joyful. And this really ensures that like all of us are working together. Like, it's many hands make light work. And so the more helpers there are, the more hands there are, the lighter and easier and more simple our work will be. And this will prevent burnout for you as a mama and resentment. And it will just train your children how to be such good contributors to society, to their future spouses, to their roommates. It just goes so much further than we even know. And I'm actually going to be hosting a whole webinar going deep into these chores and stewardship and work and common mistakes like inconsistency and overcorrecting and what to do with following up and following through. So I think it's just too much for this YouTube. Okay, so moving on. So this is where one of the common mistakes I'm going to touch on. Don't remind your children. Like, don't nag, don't overcorrect, don't go back and redo things for them. Like, really teach your children how to have ownership over their chore. So if I am teaching my son, hey, your job is to clean the living room, and let's just say he's 4 years old, then I will not keep saying, hey, clean the living room. Hey, are you gonna clean the living room? Hey, what? Like, I will make sure like this is your job to be accomplished. And what happens is my child will often forget, because that's what children do. And he'll go outside and play or whatever else, and he'll go to bed and forget all about it. And so I will actually step in and I will clean the living room. I know this sounds counterproductive, but I'm getting there. I will clean the living room when he wakes up the next morning, and I'll say, hey buddy, I did your chore for you. Which of my chores do you want to do for me today? And here's a funny thing, is that you want to give them 2 chores that are much harder than the living room. So, hey, you can, deep clean the dining room, or you can like scrub all the toilets. Which do you prefer? He's going to whine and complain, like, I don't want to do it. I want to do the living room. No worries, buddy. I'll choose for you. Why don't you scrub the toilets? And like what happens is, like, again, I'm going to go more on this in my webinar, but you start teaching them, like, when you don't get things done, it affects others. And then sometimes there's a worse consequence and there's a worse follow through. Now, another thing, just like staying calm and following through, like if my child doesn't pick up his toy, I will say, hey buddy, make sure your toys get picked up. If he doesn't, I don't go nag and remind and do it for him, unless I'm swapping a chore, like I mentioned. But I'll go ahead and just pick up the toy, and then goes to toy jail. And I'll say, hey, how do you want to earn your toy back? And I'll give him some logical sequences of what he can do. Like he can do a chore, or he can buy it back, or he can just lose the toy altogether. Like there's different ways around it to really hone in. Like, you are responsible to steward what you have been given. You almost want your children to have these kind of mistakes, because they are such wonderful learning opportunities if you can be intentional about it. So I hope everything that I gave you so far was at least helpful, because I assure you, by the time you finish this video, you should be able to just go ahead and incorporate that mindset. Like, if mama works, everybody works. Because if kids are napping or resting, you should be too. Like, I love this quote. It says, when work becomes an idolatry, rest feels like a sin. That's so good, because I don't know why, like, we just feel like we have to keep working. Like, if our to-do list isn't super long and accomplished, like we're not productive or something. But like, I've just learned that, like, if my children are napping, I'm gonna go take a nap, I'm gonna take a bath, I'm gonna spend time with the Lord, whatever. My kids go down at 7:30, guess what? I'm having a date with my husband, or I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock, or whatever I need to do to also replenish my heart and to refill myself up, to be a good mom for the next day. Anchor number 5, in regard to this being like discipleship. You never want to just like be spiteful to your children, like make them do things or make them work, or like make it hard for them. Like, you're training them in resilience, you're training them in responsibility and work ethic, all these kind of values. And like, we always are giving the ownership back to our child. And so like, if he doesn't clean up, his toys, I'm not just going around nagging all day. I'm saying, hey, you are responsible for taking care of your stuff, stewarding what you've been given. But if I'm seeing this kind of pattern, maybe like where like he's not following through, or maybe he's complaining or whining, or there's something going on that I'm like, it's not really our normal, I would say this is where heart probing questions really matter. Like, I will sit my child down and say, hey, I've noticed that you haven't really been cleaning up after yourself. Is there something going on? Are you overwhelmed? Is there something bothering you? Do you feel like you're not really sure how to do it? Because if our children don't feel, and just like us, if we don't feel like we know what to do, we might feel like overwhelmed or just kind of like stressed if we don't have like some sort of system. And that's when I like will, brainstorm with my child. Like, will having a basket in your room help put the toys in there easier? Or do you want things to be set up differently? Or do you want to declutter something? Really just getting to the heart issue, because we never want our children to feel like shamed for not being able to do something. Like, we want to validate them and make them feel seen and heard and all these things. And so anyways, I just hope that all of this was encouraging. This is a framework that we use in our home, and I was referring to my ebook a lot throughout this, but again, it's so hard to cover, so many pages in this little snippet of time together. I'll also give you information on my webinar, which is going to go so deep. I think it's going to be like maybe an hour, 45 minutes to an hour of just like really honing in with real examples. I think it's going to be so good. And then of course you can actually go and buy the ebook. It's on sale for the month of January for just $29, which is kind of crazy. It's 100 pages of things like this, incorporating a lot of things for littles in regard to discipleship. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. You can go ahead and check out my other videos right over here. And in the meantime, if your home feels kind of crazy and cluttered and messy and you just need some help, go watch my obedience reset video that I just did. I think it'll help you kind of get your home in order, and you can use your ordered, restored home to incorporate these chores and these tasks and these values. But until next time, I'm sorry, that was a big outro. But until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.